Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Secrets of the Viz. Today I have a very special guest and a very good friend of mine, Ghafar, who is here to share a little bit on his haunted Viz. So this is very in line with the Halloween period. So over to you, Ghafar.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Lewis. Hey, everyone. I'm Ghafar Shah. I've been using Tableau for 6 years now. Absolutely love it. Over the years, I've gotten to meet so many people from all over the world, and I've also been really fortunate to have been a Tableau public ambassador. I joined the Tableau community in 2019, and when I first started out, really wanted to improve my data storytelling and dashboard design skills, and the community projects like Makeover Monday were a really great way to get involved. Outside of these community projects, I love to work on passion projects. And this Halloween viz is one of them. And as Lewis alluded to, we are approaching the fall season. I can't believe summer is wrapping up already, man. But I'm really excited to be here. And I'm also a huge fan of Halloween events. Fall is actually one of my favorite seasons. And I just get so excited when I see the trees changing colors and all these Halloween attractions and promotions. I've actually been to the Halloween attraction amusement park, like the one at Six Flags, and that was a really good one. So the inspiration for this viz was seeing all the amazing Halloween vizzes on Tableau Public. As for the dashboard design process here, I used a hard copy notebook to sketch out the dashboard template. I really wanted this viz to be fun and interactive, so I knew that a map visual would be a great choice to give users a bird eye view of all the haunted places in the States. Then I wanted to add a bit more to this viz to show that top 20 states with the most and least haunted places. I did spend a lot of time Googling around on Dribble and Pinterest for design inspiration and struggled a bit, honestly, with the color choices, but was finally able to land on purple and orange that you're seeing here. And that worked really well for a dark dashboard background. And these colors are also great for a Halloween themed dashboard. The dashboard was created in Figma, like the Halloween font you're seeing here at the very top. And these little icons I added as well, which I pulled from the website Flaticon. Flaticon is a really great place if you're looking for icons that are completely free. Once I had the Figma template ready, and all the design that you're seeing here was in Figma, I exported it out as an image and uploaded it as a background image in Tableau. The haunted places data was from Kaggle, and it did have latitude and longitude values. So if I scroll down to the map here, and if I hover over the haunted places here, these are latitude and longitude coordinates, and I'll get into that in a minute too and show you how I plotted this on the map. The example we're looking at here is Austin, Indiana, and it also had a really brief spooky story. And what was interesting from this was that the East Coast is really haunted, Lewis.
Yeah. Last time I saw this was like, I'm not visiting the East Coast, I'm heading towards the West Coast now. Yeah.
Yeah,
And thankfully, Tableau conference is at the West Coast area.
but yeah, in this example, our points are the haunted places. And for this passion project I did, I downloaded a state shapefile. The US Census has a bunch of different shapefiles. I have all the shape boundaries for each of the states. And then I left joined it to the haunted places data set. I did need to use the make point spatial function that's available in Tableau, and then a spatial join called intersect when I was building this up. One of the challenges was figuring out the best way to show Hawaii and Alaska. You're not seeing that on this map. So when you keep both of these states, and those of you who worked with maps before, the map gets really small because the Hawaii and Alaska's in there. So a workaround I found is to use the show hide containers that you're seeing here. If a user wanted to see the haunted places in Alaska and Hawaii, they still have that option to show it. Let me show you really quickly. I created two new sheets that has Alaska and Hawaii. And what I did was I dragged over a container. I showed high container box within Tableau and customized the button in Figma to give it that really nice gradients, purple and orange. And within this container, I'm showing both Alaska and Hawaii side by side next to each other. That way, it just gives users that flexibility to show and hide Alaska and Hawaii. But if they wanted to see a bird eye view of all the states, they can go ahead and hide Alaska and Hawaii. and see all the states. I thought that was a really cool trick. I always use this at work, Louis. It's really helpful, especially we're working with so much data and our stakeholders are like, oh, the map is too zoomed out. We want to be able to just look at these states here and have another option to show and hide Alaska and Hawaii. So I kind of took inspiration from the projects I did for my work and then applied it for this Halloween dash.
Yeah, I think that's a very neat idea because when we're working with maps, especially for world maps, you have areas that look extremely big on scale, like Iceland and Antarctica and stuff like that. And it's
Yeah.
just due to how the maps are being rendered on the globe. So I think having this toggle to switch between Alaska, Hawaii, and the States is a very cool trick. And just looking at this, Alaska doesn't have much hunter stories as well as Hawaii, so they are probably
Yeah.
very safe to visit. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, I think the last thing I want to show here is how I created the top 20. And what you're seeing here is the top 20 states with the most haunted places. And then the bottom, which is highlighted in purple. And then over to the right. So if I go into one of the worksheets, for example, you're not going to see anything here unless I hover over it because I removed the background shading since I was placing it over a dark background. But what I want to call out here is I actually use the index function. I use this index function all the time. And I think it's really popular too in the Tableau community. I made it discrete, dragged it over to rows, and it gives it the values like 1, 2, 3, 4, however many states there are. I sorted it by greatest to least. And then I dropped the index calculated field on the filter shelf and limited to just like the top 20. I did the same thing for the bottom 20 states. The only difference between these two is the sorting is different, right? But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed building this Viz. It really made my day when I saw the announcement that it was selected as Viz of the Day. So that was really awesome. And I can't thank the community enough for all the support. I really appreciate it.
Sounds good. Thank you, Ghafar, for spending time with us in today's episode of Secrets of the Viz. I hope everyone learned something new, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye. You know, some of these haunted places are actually on my places to go to list. I get spooked really easily, Louis. And I remember I'm watching a scary movie, and you will probably see me, if you're sitting with me, you'll see me like looking behind every 5 minutes just to make sure there's no one behind me.
What was the most scary film that you have watched to date?
I would say the Haunting of Jane. I don't know if I'm saying the full name right. The Haunting of Jane Doe or something. It's they find a body. It's in a morgue, right? And the doctor is trying to figure out. They're doing their own morgue stuff, right? But the thing is, this person that they gave the person the name Jane Doe because they don't know who it is. Mm-hmm. This person's haunting the whole morgue. So the lights are like flashing off and on. You see something crawling out of these little spaces. And it was really scary, man. I think that was probably like one of the most scariest films I've seen. I've seen Insidious and The Conjuring. I wasn't really scared from those films, to be completely honest. But this film was very unique. And the fact that it was like within a morgue where all the like dead people are, it was a very interesting plot.
I think you're probably more of a kind of like a thriller, slow burn kind of horror guy rather than the jump scare type.
Yeah.
I remember the film that scarred me the most was this film from Thailand. I think it's probably called Now Showing. So it's basically about a company that was making a horror film. And there was an accident on set, and the actress actually hung herself and died. The show is about this group of people going to the cinema to watch this film that has that scene where the actress died. And as the story progressed, there was a scene where the mobile phone rang, and it was in the film, but the mobile phone was actually in the cinema itself. So it's kind of like an Inception way of doing the horror film. And that film scarred me so much that I didn't dare to step into a cinema for the next time.
Oh man,
it was so traumatic.
Have you been to a cinema since then, or no?
I've been to see a movie since, but it took me a while. It took me quite a while.
Yeah, And I love these horror thriller movies. They're always really interesting.
Yeah, I think as I age, I don't have the stomach for horror films anymore.
But isn't it supposed to, as you age, you're supposed to have the stomach for it? You know what I mean?
Depends on how you look at it.